Hello and welcome back to Beta Things, the show that brings you the future of mechanical technology in a digital world. Today, we're going to be doing an episode that I've been talking about for too long. I've had the film in the can for some time now. For this show that I'm really excited about, though, we're going to be talking about a process for turning your PLA prints into metal. It's like freaking alchemy. I love the results that came out of it, and I think you're going to like them too. So stay tuned. Let's get the show started. Hello, I would be Paul Myers, and welcome to a very special edited version of Beta Things. We've got footage from in the field, taken from multiple cameras, and I'm going to be supplementing the information that you garner from these video clips, and we're going to have a good time. So let's get started with day one of the PLA alchemy process, where I brought my plastic models to Tim at the jewelry store, and he sprued them for me. You'll see what spruing is, and then we got them positioned in their jars, getting ready for day two. So starting with day one, we'll come back to here. I'll talk more about the things that are happening, progression, and then you'll see these awesome metal parts that I got. Let's get started. Don't worry. I said I'm really good at editing, so don't worry. I'm going to make you look really good.
The bubbles have less of a tendency to stick.
So like I said, what you just saw there was spruing and inserting the pieces into their flasks. The word is flask, not jar. Flask is just basically a metal tube that you put a plastic cap on the bottom of that your model with the wax is attached to. So you saw him spruing the models. The one that looked like this was the most complicated. He actually ended up making 4 sprues that go to the edges. And what they are is going to be a channel for the metal to flow in, and I guess for the plastic to flow out when we burn it out later. But they're very important. It's very important, for one, that they make contact fully with the model and don't have any gaps underneath where they attach. Because what you could end up having is plaster, when it gets poured in around, get in underneath that crack, and then when the metal gets poured in later, you could have some plaster inclusions in your metal that could weaken it or change the look or create a pitting effect or something that you don't want. So I was glad to have Tim, the professional, there to take care of it my first time. Now, if I had thought this through fully, or if I had talked to him beforehand, I definitely could have included the sprues as part of my models and just 3D printed the lot. Obviously a lesson for next time and a lesson for you nice people. Coming up, we're going to do day 2, which was investing. So we were creating plaster investment out of mix and water, and then we vacuum out the barrel. You'll see. And then we'll be moving on to day 3. So let's just keep this train a-rolling. So it's day 2 of the casting saga. Today I'm at Tim's house, and we're going to be putting the models into investment and vacuuming out the bubbles, and then maybe if I stick around long enough, we're going to put them into the kiln and melt all the plastic out. So let's go say hi. So, a rather abrupt end to day two. I was filming on my old iPhone and my even older Sony Bloggy, and it seems that between the two they've lost the rest of the footage for day two, but that's fine. You saw the important parts. Basically, we mixed up the investment casting material with water at the given ratio, even used the hand blender, and then he put that into a vacuum chamber to take all the bubbles out so that they wouldn't form on the model. And then once it was all vacuumed out, he poured it into the flask, and you saw in day one how the flasks had their plastic model inside on sprues, sort of on stilts in there. So we poured the plaster around, made sure it's all nice and in there, and it sets really fast. In like an hour, it's set solid. And that point, you pull off the bottom cap, and then you put it into an oven overnight at like some ungodly thousands of degrees, I forget, and that basically vaporizes whatever's on the inside, leaving only the cavity. So let's move right on to day three, where we were pouring metal into plaster casts, and then all the stuff and metal came out. It was magical. Take a look. Super cool, right? So what you saw there was the flask fresh out of the oven on top of a vacuum mat. Because it's a tube, we put the vacuum on the bottom and the cavity on the top, and you pour the metal in, and the vacuum sucks the metal into all the pores to fill the cast. And at that point, the flask is super hot. We run it down into the sink, plunge it in the water, and it boils off, and the plaster disintegrates, and what you're left with is your model with the sprues attached. So we cut the sprues off and then polished like crazy to get the sort of final products you just saw. I'll show you, I'll end this episode with a few more sort of glamour shots of these three things that we made. One was a necklace pendant, the second one was a fidget spinner, and the third one was a pipe. So thanks for watching. Tune in next time, and let's keep looking to the future of mechanism together.